Donald Trump just finished his rally near Lansing just minutes ago.
Political reporter Rick Albin is at the event, and Rick, it seemed mostly scripted, and he had a message for Michigan and for black voters.
Well, he was very much on message, and yes, I think there was a more disciplined delivery by Donald Trump here in Michigan, but it did sound a lot like a speech he gave back at Birch Run very early on in this campaign. This was a big crowd. It was a very enthusiastic crowd. Thousands of people here just outside of Lansing that came to hear Mr. Trump. This is really the first rally he has had since the nomination and the convention back in Cleveland. Obviously, from there, he came here for a big economic speech, but this was a true campaign rally. And he had two really important messages. One dealt with trade and the automobile industry, but the other one was an outreach to minority voters.
Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? In 2014, General Motors announced plans to double its investments in Mexico by 2018. Not good. In April 2016, Ford Motor Company announced plans to invest another $1.6 billion constructing an auto plant in Mexico. Mexico will become the car capital of the world very, very quickly. And Michigan is going to end up with lots of empty buildings all over the place unless you elect Donald Trump president, in which case it's not going to happen.
So Trump had a very tailored message for Michigan, and he will be back in the state, and here's why. If you take a look at the electoral map that we showed you earlier in the week, there are a dozen states that he's going to have to win in order to get to 270. Michigan is one of those states that's currently in play. That goes all the way down to Florida and Georgia and North Carolina, Ohio, and you can rattle off another half dozen states. But this race is really going to come down to those swing states, and that's where Trump is likely to be focusing his attention over the next 11 weeks or so. Obviously, the campaign has gone through another shakeup, but when you talk to the campaign folks here today, they say they are on track and ready to go to run the rest of this race. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens between now and then, because if Michigan is indeed going to be in play, we can expect to see a lot more from both the Trump and Clinton campaigns between now and November. We're live just outside of Lansing. Rick Albin, 24 Hour News 8.